to remember the extent of the testes, which is happening to be from the 4th segment to 6th segment of the testes. Then we come on to, from these testes arise a vas deferens. See, this is a tube which is known as vas deferens. Now, this vas deferens is the tube which is carrying the sperms which were produced in the testes away from the testes and are meeting over at a point. So, this is vas deferens. Okay? Vas deferens. They are meeting at a point from both the sides. You can see from both the sides they are meeting it. Okay? At the point where these vas deferens meet, they produce an ejaculatory duct. Just see, this is the structure of a ejaculatory duct. So, both the vas deferens are joining to form an ejaculatory duct. Try to compare it with the reproductive system of the humans. In humans also, when the secretion of seminal vesicle, when the secretion of the prostate gland in humans used to get poured into the vas deferens, that duct was known as ejaculatory duct. Similarly, in the cockroach also, when the vas deferens from both the sides of the testes meet at a common point and there are secretions of conglobate glands and mushroom glands, then these vas deferens would be known as ejaculatory duct, which opens outside through the male genital pore. Okay? So, the ejaculatory duct are opening outside the body of the cockroach through the male genital pore. Okay? This is the male gonopore which I was talking about. See, it is opening over here na, in this portion. Okay? Then we have seminal vesicles at the point where these two ejaculatory ducts meet. At the point where the two vas deferens are meeting, a gland is present which is known as seminal vesicles. The role of seminal vesicle is a storage of sperms. If you people are asked in the NEET examination ki what is the function of seminal vesicle, then you are going to say ki it is the storage of the sperms which is happening in seminal vesicle. So, this was seminal vesicle. Okay? Then we have a mushroom gland or the utricular gland. See, the mushroom gland or the utricular gland, this is the mushroom or the utricular gland. In the diagram, you can see the mushroom gland or the utricular gland. In the diagram, it is mentioned over here. It is just situated above the seminal vesicle. So, first of all, study about the location, where it is located. Both the vas deferens were meeting, and at the point of their rendezvous, a gland was present which was known as seminal vesicle. Just above the seminal vesicle is present a utricular gland. Now, this utricular gland is also called mushroom gland just because of the shape of it. The shape is mushroom like, that is why it is known as the mushroom gland. Now, the thing which you have to remember about this mushroom gland is that it has two kind of processes. This mushroom gland has two kind of processes. Just see, these are the processes which are emerging out of the utricular or the mushroom gland. So, there are some small fibers, there are some small projections, and which are known as utriculus brevorus, and there are some long projections which are known as utriculus majorus. Okay, I am writing down the name for them. The two kind of projections, utriculus brevorus and the utriculus majorus. Utriculus majorus or the long tubules have a gland known as Utericose gland at the tip of them, which absorbs the nitrogenous waste material from the hemocoel. Try to remember this thing. Again, the mushroom gland is containing two kind of filaments, a long filament and a short filament. The long filament is known as Utriculus majorus. The short filaments are known as Utriculus brevorus. The Utriculus majorus or the long filament contain a gland at the tip of it. जो long filaments हैं उनके tip पर there is a gland present which is known as Utricular gland. It helps in the absorption of nitrogenous waste material from the hemocoel of the cockroach. Got it? And then the short fibers are present which secrete nutritive fluid for the sperm. Okay. Then again there is a gland present which is known as phallic gland or the conglobate gland. Phallic gland or the conglobate gland is present on the top of the mushroom gland. These phallic glands, and importantly, they open separately. Remember that ejaculatory duct was opening through the male gonopore, but the phallic gland opens independently through a different pore from the body of the cockroach, which is known as phallic aperture. Okay, it is known as the phallic aperture. So you have two openings in the male cockroach. The male gonopore, and just adjacent to it is a phallic aperture through which the secretions from the phallic glands are being drained into it. Okay, so it is the phallic gland. Then again a very important thing which you people have to remember is Phallomirs. What are Phallomirs? These are the chitinous structure which are covering up the male gonopore. They overhang above the male gonopore and are made up of chitin. A similar structure is present in the female counterpart of the cockroach as well. What do they do and what are they composed of can be asked to you people in the NEET examination. Okay. So basically that Phallomir is divided into three major types depending upon the position. The left Phallomir, the right Phallomir, which are present on the two lateral sides, and a ventral Phallomir which is present on the ventral side of the male gonopore. Now the male gonopore is going to open into the ventral Phallomir. So if you are specifically asked that in which Phallomir is male gonopore going to be opening into, so you can say that it is the ventral Phallomir. And if it is asked that phallic aperture, this phallic aperture, where it is opening into, so you will say it is the left Phallomir where it is going to open into. Okay. The phallic gland has a phallic tube duct which opens outside the body of the cockroach into the left Phallomir, while the ventral Phallomir is containing the male gonopore. Okay. So this is the structure of a basic morphology about the male cockroach. Okay. So many of the people you might be not able to perceive, na? There is a perception issue. The sir has told about the Phallomirs. Basically what happens, you can consider these Phallomirs as sclerotic plates only. There were sclerotic or the chitinous plates na, over the body of the cockroach which was forming the exoskeleton. Similarly, these three Phallomirs are also the sclerotic plates, but they cover up the male gonopore. Might be some of the students want to see the structure, how they look. So I have a structure of them. So this is the structure of the Phallomir. You can see these Phallomirs are present. The left Phallomir is of concern with you people. See, in the right Phallomir, in the ventral Phallomir, you will find the ejaculatory duct and the male gonopore, which I was talking about. Okay. So this is ventral Phallomir. Now the left Phallomir is explained over here in this diagram. So you can see in this diagram that ventral phallomere is made up of plates. So it has plates. What plates are there? You can find the pseudopenis over here, which is basically meant for the anchorage. It is not the copulatory organ. The pseudopenis serves as an anchorage during the copulation. Okay. So you have an acutolobe, titillator, which you find over here in this diagram. Just see the aspirate lobe, the pseudopenis, the titillator, and the acutolobe. So as I have told you that the phallic gland is going to open into the ventral phallomere. So if you are very much specific and you really want to know in which of the following I use the word subphallomere is it going to open into, then it is the aspirate lobe in which the phallic aperture is going to open into. So there might be some students who want to know a bit detail about this cockroach. So this part of the lecture was dedicated to those students who really want to study everything about it. Okay. So I come on to now the main diagram of it. So now I come on to the main diagram. Now the passage of sperm is what I am going to teach you people now. How is the sperm being transferred? Try to listen to it very carefully. There are questions which might be asked to you people regarding the path of sperm. You have to trace the path of the sperm and know every milestone which the sperm is going to pass through before it is released into the female gonopore. Okay. So the journey of the sperm begins from the testes. As I have previously told you, they are stored in the seminal vesicle. In the seminal vesicle, these sperms are glued in form of a ball, and the Utericulus brevorus, which was the shorter tubule, is going to secrete some nutritive fluid for the sperms in that ball, and Utericulus majorus or the long tubule is going to secrete first layer over this spermathecal ball, a layer. If you really want to know about like layer, then you can imagine about a ice cream over which a caramel or the chocolate is being poured upon. So the first layer is secreted by the, now this is the important question, try to listen to it. A ball was formed and over the ball what is being poured? A first layer of nutritive fluid is being poured over it by the tubules, the Utericulus brevorus, the nutritive fluid, and the layer majorly by the Utericulus majorus or the long tubules. So from the Utericular gland, now this spermathecal ball has to go into the ejaculatory duct. It has to pass outside the body, so it is going to follow the path which is leading to outside the body of the cockroach. So from the seminal vesicle, they are temporarily stored and the liquid is poured over this spermathecal ball by the Utericular gland. They are going to go into the ejaculatory duct. Now at this point, when the spermathecal ball with the first covering is reached into the ejaculatory duct, a second layer is poured. A second layer is poured in the ejaculatory duct. So the spermathecal ball contains two layers which are secreted inside the body of the cockroach. That spermathecal ball is now double layered. The first layer was secreted by Utericulus majorus, the tubules, and the second layer is secreted by the ejaculatory duct, the cells of the ejaculatory duct itself over it. So the spermathecal ball is double layered inside the body of the male cockroach. Okay. Now it is released outside. It is released outside. Outside means it is going to be released into the female oothecal pore, the genital papilla over the portion of it, female cockroach. At this point of time, a third layer is secreted over this spermathecal ball by the phallic aperture in the aspirate lobe. So two layers are secreted inside the body of the cockroach and the third layer is poured only after the sperms are being deposited on the genital papilla, and this third layer is importantly poured by the phallic gland, which is opening through a phallic aperture, which is again situated in the aspirate lobe of the left phallomir. So, this specific you have to be while you are learning about it. Okay. So, now you have learned about the male reproductive system and the fate of the spermatical ball till it is deposited in the female gonopore. Okay. Now, I come on to the female reproductive system.